Hey, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. I've been gone for a hot second just because a whole bunch of things happened just in my life from the month of December to January, so things were crazy, so I just didn't have enough time. Small life update. In December I graduated college. I also went on like vacation, spent time with my family through Christmas, stuff like that. On the vacation I was kicked in the head, so I have this cute little scar on my forehead now.
Ouch!
So that's fun. Nothing really has been going on in my life. But today's video, some people, whenever they start like a YouTube channel, they like to introduce themselves, so they'll do like an introduction video. I don't feel like doing that, but I still wanted y'all to kind of get like my vibe, I guess. And if there's one thing about me, it's that I am a hater to my core. I love to hate on things. It's so much fun to me. I honestly just love doing it. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. I'm not really hating, I'm just stating my negative opinion. And that negative opinion is on popular BookTok books that I just absolutely refuse to read. Like, I will not read these. There's no amount of money that you could pay me to get me to read these books. There probably is, but it's probably a pretty steep price, not gonna lie. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be talking about today. So let's get into it. Before I go into why I don't want to read these books and I refuse to read these books, I'm just gonna put a disclaimer and say that these are all my opinions. If you like these books, that's wonderful for you. I just don't like them. I did give them a try, per se. From what I've seen, it just doesn't seem like I would enjoy these books, so I'm not going to read them. Simply put, books are very subjective. If you like the book, totally fine. I don't like the book, so there we go. If you get mad at anything that I say in these videos or any opinions that I have about these books, if they're your favorite books, let me know. Please don't be mean. Thanks. We're starting off strong with this. The first one that I'm going to talk about of popular things on BookTok that I just refuse to read is any Colleen Hoover books. I mean any of them. I don't care if it's Verity, I don't care if it's November 9th, anything. I don't want to read these books. It's honestly because of the way that It Ends With Us was pitched to me as someone like freshly on BookTok when it started becoming popular. So many people told me that it was this like cute little romance book with like a love triangle and stuff like that. Then I get graphic depictions of like spousal abuse and stuff like that. I don't want to read that. It's like she goes into so much detail about so much, and all the men in her books so unbelievably toxic. Like they maybe have like one redeeming quality, sure, but they are terrible. I do not like half of the men in her books. I tried to read It Ends With Us, like I said, didn't really like it. So then I was like, okay, maybe I'll give her other books a chance. I saw some other people review them, and when they said some of the stuff that was in these books, I was just like, okay, never mind. Don't want to do that. Okay, bye. I don't know, it's just, I feel like she kind of just like puts traumatic things in her books for like shock value or something like that. I don't like it. It's weird to me. I've lived through some of the stuff that she puts in her books, and I don't particularly want to read it. The next BookTok craze that I just refuse to read is the Crave series. I saw some people talking about this. I didn't see a lot of people talking about this because I'm not into a lot of like YA books. This is like a fantasy YA book, so I didn't see a lot of people talking about it, but one of my favorite booktubers, Kari, she decided to read the entire series. Well, what's out right now, because I think it's still in the works. I don't think it's finished. She read most of the books that are already out, and I watched her vlog of her reading it, and just the things that like she was talking about and like the plots of half of the books, I was just like, oh my god. I could not. Props to her for like getting through all of those books, because I simply could not. It seems so ridiculous. The books are so long. There's no need for them to be that long. Tracy Wolf, she goes on like these weird tangents. They're not even tangents, they're just like 5 or 6 chapters in the book that just talks about like them like playing a game of chess or something like that. It's so weird and so drawn out. I've read Sarah J. Maas books. I've read Crescent City. I've read the majority of the ACOTAR series. So I know when a book has filler, and I've read books and I've sat through books that honestly could be almost 200 pages shorter than they actually are. But with the filler, you have to still make it engaging for the reader, and it's just, like, to me, the things that she just has in there, it just doesn't seem like it is. So I will stay far away from it. The next one, again, this is a series, kind of the same vein of Crave, is the Zodiac Academy series. I have seen lots of people talk about it. A lot of people who are in that like niche of like spicy fantasy book talk kind of talk about it a lot. They love Zodiac Academy. So many people have said that they read that entire series, which is like almost 12 books because there's like a spin-off like trilogy or something, but the core series is 8 books now, I think, which is insane to me. And they all get even longer with each book that comes out, just like the Crave series. I don't know what it is as of recent with books that are a series that the author feels like it needs to get longer and like be like chunkier, a chunkier book with each book that they release. It just, I don't know. Again, I watched Kari read some of these and she didn't even finish it. So if she didn't finish it, I know that it is just terrible to get through, and I don't think that I could get through it. Granted, I've read a lot of fan fiction, so I have had my fair share of like some crappy stories, but I don't think that I could sit through it right now. So the next book that I'm going to talk about is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. This book was super popular when BookTok started really taking off. So many people recommended it, so many people were reading it, and I never actually got around to reading it when it was really popular. So I kind of like just saw people read it and review it. And again, from what people have said and from some of the things that I've just heard people talk about with like the plot of the book, doesn't seem like my jam. Does not seem like I would like it. It's very hard to sell me personally on purely romance books. I am very much a fantasy romance kind of girl. I need there to be like a plot and then the romance be like a subplot. I don't need it to be the whole like driving factor of the book. So it's hard to sell me on romance books anyway. So the fact that so many people said that like the romance in it wasn't that good, or like some of the things that happened were just kind of like eh, and like the third act breakup was just kind of like dumb, I was like, okay, then this is not the book for me. So I'm gonna respectfully not. The next one that I'm gonna talk about it's kind of similar to any Colleen Hoover books. I have kind of just like written off Taylor Jenkins Reid because I gave her 2 tries. I tried to read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It was okay, it just didn't really keep me that engaged, and I could kind of see like the twist coming. I don't really know if it's because I've seen other people talk about it. I've like seen other people talk about it on TikTok about like how the twist, like what the twist was and stuff like that. And then I also tried to read Daisy Jones and the Six. I just don't like the way that it was set up because it's kind of set up in like interview style, or like it's kind of written like a script. And I just don't really, I couldn't really like get into it because it was written that way. And also I know the story of Fleetwood Mac, so I got bored because I knew it was coming, because it's all it is. It's just the story of Fleetwood Mac. She just changed the names. Instead of Stevie Nicks, it's Daisy Jones. And so because I didn't particularly enjoy those 2 books, which are her most popular books, like those are the books that everyone's like, if you're gonna read Taylor Jenkins Reid, you have to read these 2. So if those are her best books, I'm probably not gonna like the other ones. It's just how my brain works. Y'all can tell me that I'm wrong, but I don't know. That's just how I feel. The next book that I'm gonna talk about, I wouldn't really say that this book is like popular on BookTok. I've seen some people talking about it, and I know that the reason why it did get independently published is because of how decently popular it was on TikTok, because the author just is from TikTok and decided to write a book. It is The Night and Its Moon by Piper CJ. I saw some things about this book, and I saw like Piper saying things about how it was like everyone's bi fantasy. I turned to another booktalker that I absolutely love and I trust very much because I feel like we have like the same taste in books. That's Rachel Reeds. And she did a review of this book because she does a series where she reviews books who got a whole bunch of 1 stars for some reason or something that the author did or something like that. So she did a review of this book, so I watched it. And again, just some of the things she said was in this book, and then kind of like looking back at Piper CJ's TikToks about it, I don't think that I would like it. Then also there is a lot of controversy around it because a lot of people are saying that Piper CJ completely ripped off The Witcher for the plot of this book, which looking at it simply just like with plot point by plot point, it is very similar to The Witcher, I will say. Also, the second main character, which I can only remember her name is like Nox. I can't remember the other main character's name, but she's essentially Suri from The Witcher, so that's just what I call her. It's Suri and Nox are like orphans, and when you are meeting Nox in the book, I don't know if it's like literally right when you meet her or sometime within the first few chapters, but she's quite literally described as like the token character, and she is like a POC character. So I don't know, that just kind of rubs me the wrong way a little. So I don't really want to read that. And also Nox is like sold into like a brothel essentially, and some guy pays extra because she's fresh. Do you get what I'm saying? So that is just weird to me. It's not that I don't read books that have like some levels of misogyny in it or something like that. It's just like the misogyny isn't a driving factor for the characters. They're just kind of like, the 2 female characters are just kind of okay with it. There's no challenge to it. So it's just, having it in there doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't add anything to it, and I don't really see the point of it. So yeah. The next book that I'm going to talk about is, this book is very popular with like a side of TikTok that I am on, which is like sad boy BOOKTOK, if you know what I'm saying, like normal people, Sally Rooney, Song of the Kitties, those types of books. It's A Little Life by Hayana Yanagihara. I'm probably butchering that last name, so sorry, but I just don't really want to read it because it seems like I am someone who loves a good sad book. Easiest way for you to get me to give a book a 5-star rating is by making me cry. But I don't want to read a book that makes me like genuinely sad, like uncomfortable sad. And I get the vibe from this book that that's what it's gonna make me feel. It's gonna make me feel uncomfortably sad. And that's not what I'm looking for in my books. It didn't seem appealing to me. A Little Life does not seem like my vibe. So yeah. Next is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I, again, saw this book that was kind of with the Spanish love deception. It was during like the first wave of like when BOOKTOK was really taking off. And during that time, I was very much into romance books. Like I thought that I was, so I gave them a chance, and I figured out that I'm not a romance book girly. I saw this book being recommended a lot of times and never got around to it, didn't read it. Then it got made into a movie, I think in like 2021. I watched the movie. It was bad. I'm gonna say that, it was bad. So I'm just gonna assume that the book is also bad. So I'm not gonna read it. I have no other reasoning besides the fact that I saw the movie and I didn't like it, which I wanted to like it. I love Lucy Hale, so I wanted to like it. I just didn't. So that's sad. The next book is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I actually have this book. I asked for this book for Christmas 2 years ago, again when I thought that I was very much into romance books, figured out that I wasn't. Honestly, my only reasoning is because I just know that I'm not super into romance books, And again, what people have said, the romance in this is not that engaging. So I don't think that I'm gonna like it. I don't think I'm gonna enjoy it. I could see myself starting to read it, but then probably DNFing it, which I don't think is bad. I do not think it's bad if you DNF books. I don't know. I just don't want to put my time into it if I go in expecting not to like it. The next book is They Both Die in the End by Adam Silvera. Honestly, to me, it just, again, this seems like a book that's gonna make me uncomfortably sad. Also, I read The Fault in Our Stars, so I've gotten the vibe of this book, and I don't want to go back there. I don't want to read it again, personally, so I'm not going to. Also, people said that the second book is not that good. Yeah, I don't have any other reason. I don't really want to read it. I don't want to get sad about chronically ill teenagers again. I had that phase in my life. I don't want to go back there. That was a dark place. That was a dark time for me. I don't need to go back there. It's for my own mental health. Don't need to go back there. John Green, I love you. Don't want to go back there. Next, this book has a whole bunch of controversy around it. I actually just watched Rachel's review video of this specific book, and then also a video of her talking about the author of this book. And this book is Light Lark by Alex Astor. Before I even watched Rachel's video on it, I knew that I was not gonna like this book, simply because the way she pitched it, I thought that I was gonna love it. And then I saw people reviewing it, and then I saw like the true synopsis of it, and I was just like, I don't think that's gonna keep me engaged like I want. And it also just kind of seemed like she was trying to put everything that a lot of people loved about like specific fantasy books that were very popular now, and just kind of mushed them together, but not in a good way. Like, I know the love interest in this book, people have compared him to Reese from ACOTAR. From just some of the things that I've seen, I don't think that he truly is. I think he's kind of like an off-brand version of him. The girl, the like main character, she seems annoying in like a terrible way. Like, there are main characters that I find annoying. There are some main characters that I'm like, you are just like Farah. I do not like Farah from ACOTAR. I find her so unbelievably annoying. I think she's just, the nicest way to say is she's just annoying. And I think she has like a victim complex. I don't know. Regardless, that's not what we're talking about. I can read books with main characters that I don't particularly enjoy, but I don't need them to be distractingly annoying. And I feel like that's what, I think the main character is Isle, I think that's her name, or I don't know. Also, the words that she uses in it just seem gross. Like, I know she uses the word like yoki a lot to describe the sun, which is weird, and meanly, which to me isn't a word, but okay. I think I would just get annoyed by this book, honestly. And finally, this is actually a series that I just feel like I know I'm not gonna like. Also, it seems way too long. It seems like a huge commitment. When I started reading ACOTAR, I didn't know that soon all of SJM's universe were gonna like combine, so I didn't really know what I was signing up for. But the Throne of Glass series intimidates me. Also, people argue about the order that you're supposed to read it in, so like that makes me anxious. But the series that I'm talking about is the Shatter Me series by Tahara Mafi. Again, I'm sure I'm butchering that. I'm so sorry. I'm sure you're a great person. There are so many books in this series, and first, my only reasoning for not wanting to read this series is simply because of the covers. The covers give me the biggest ick ever. Those eyes? Are you kidding me? Why? Why did we choose that? I'm sure there's some like artistic reasoning behind it, and there's like a metaphor and like a deeper reasoning or whatever, but I don't care, and cannot get over it. Another reason is because it's a kind of the same vein of Colleen Hoover. It's how like somewhat overhyped it is on TikTok. So many people have talked about just like how good the spice is in it, but I recently found out that all of those books are Fade to Black or Closed Door books. So you don't even get really any spice. You get a lot of fluff, that's about it. And one of the reasons why this kind of like pisses me off is because the one quote that everyone talks about on TikTok, if you even mention the Shatter Me series, they're going to talk about this. And Aaron Warner, whoever that is, everyone loves him. He's everyone's book boyfriend apparently. But they talk about this scene where I think it's Aaron Warner, where he says like, lift your hips for me, love, or something like that. And it's like when they're in the middle of like the beginnings of like a spicy scene, but then that's it. People build it up so much, then it's not as like impactful or like crazy as people think it is. So it's kind of like a letdown. So I think that's how I think I would be if I read these books. I feel like I would kind of be like let down. And I'm kind of annoyed that I think that I would be let down by them, because I'm someone who loves standalone interconnected series. Like I love those kinds of books. I read the Off-Campus series, love them. Well, not love, but they were great. I enjoyed them. And I'm very interested in like the Twisted series or the Calloway Sisters series. Those seem interesting. I know there's like a Formula One. I love those. Like I love standalone interconnected series. So I'm kind of annoyed that I feel like I'm not gonna like it. Yeah, those are pretty much it. There could be a longer list, but these are the ones that I'm like so violently against. It's insane. But yeah, again, if you like these books or if these books impacted you in any way, it's totally fine. I'm not saying that you have terrible taste. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I don't think I would like them. But if you like them, love that for you. Tell me why. Defend them for me, but don't be mean. Again, do not be mean. I'm sensitive and I'm fragile. Please don't yell at me. That is it for today. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Love making videos about the books that I read over there. All my socials will be down below. Love you. Thanks for watching. Bye.